Welcome, everyone, to the Side Draft Podcast. This past weekend, the Camping World Truck Series went to Chicagoland Speedway, another 1.5 miles, and we would see Brett Moffitt. He was able to get to the race, fully funded by freight auctions, and would go on to win the race.
Yeah, it was good that they stepped up this week. I think they made it finalized Tuesday. I just want to give a big shout out to freight auctions for doing that for them, and it really paid off for them.
Yeah, and freight auctions really won the race for this team, because without them, I wouldn't have been there. So, big thank you to freight auctions there for giving us a great race. Technically.
Yeah.
And we're here to give you the rundown of how everything went, discuss this race. Was it a good race? Was it a bad race? We'll get right into it. But at the start of the day, we had Noah Gragson winning the pole. I believe it would be his second pole of the season.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It's always he's always qualifies good, so it's good to see him win the pole.
And moving on down, we had the last lap pass for John Hunter Nemechek on Noah Gragson for the stage win. We all thought Noah Gragson had it all locked in. He was going to get his sixth stage win of the season. Ended up being John Hunter.
Yeah, he led Noah Gragson. He led the whole first stage until that last lap. I mean, where did John Hunter come from?
That would be the theme of the weekend for NASCAR, all besides the Xfinity Series. But for the top five of this, we would have John Hunter coming in P1, P2, Noah Gragson. P3, we had Stuart Friesen. He was there lurking. P5, we have Dalton Sargent. He led quite a few laps at the beginning of that stage. And P5, we would have Brett Moffitt.
That's good for that team. And the number... Noah Gragson and John Hunter would almost collide coming off pit road, but Gragson wins the race off the pit road.
Then at the beginning of stage 2, we would have the number 7 of Corbin Forrester, a low-funded team, stay out, but they would sink like a rock on the restart.
Yeah, it was a good strategy, I guess, to get started up on the front row, but they just kind of slid to the rear.
Still through that run, he was still better than he would have been if he would have pitted. So still a good strategy, still a good call. Could have turned worse if people were to hit him for how slow he was going compared to the lead cars, but that didn't happen. He would still do pretty decent considering the low funding of that team. But Stuart Friesen would then attempt to pass Noah Gragson on the bottom lane, falls back after a failed attempt.
Yeah, then Johnny Sauter and Todd Gillen, they get together a little bit off of turn 2. Sauter gets a little, I guess, get a little loose, got in the back end of him, but they continue on.
Yeah, with 19 to go in the stage, we would have Ross Chastain, number 15 for Premium Motorsports. Cut a tire, sends it into the wall. Caution would come out.
And Ben Rhodes, he uses that caution to get some extra tires and fuel. But the leaders, they would stay out.
And then we would see Gragson versus Brett Moffitt. KBM versus a KBM funded team. How will it go down? Well, we won't get to know because number 25, Dalton Sargent, would collide with Stuart Friesen. Friesen would be okay, but the number 25 would not be because he would be sending it down to the inside wall, but he manages to keep it off the wall in an incredible save.
Yeah, so it was going 3 wide, coming up on John Hunter Nemechek. Friesen tried to give him some room and stuff, but Friesen ran out of room, and Sargent just got in the back end of him and spun him around.
Yeah, and John Hunter and Brett Moffitt would battle for second, but wouldn't be no match for Noah Gragson continuing his lead, and he'd go on to win the stage.
That would be his 6th stage win of the season. That's most of all the trucks in the playoffs.
Top 5 would be the number 18, Noah Gragson, number 16, Brett Moffitt, number 8, John Hunter Nemechek, number 52 of Stuart Friesen, and number 21 of Johnny Sauter. And Johnny Sauter's creeping his way up there, isn't he?
Yeah, you can't ever count him out in any of these races. So he
4 wins this season. incredible job by Johnny Sauter. By far the most wins in the season so far. Stage 3 would begin, and we would see it again, where number 18, number 8 would almost collide in pit road.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek had to go in the grass just to miss him, but John Hunter, he keeps the lead off the pit road.
And Ben Rhodes will jump below the number 52 on Friesen on the restart, almost colliding, but thankfully both trucks were able to keep it on the track.
Yeah, there's a little bit of chaos on that restart, and everybody jumbling up, and Stuart Friesen, he'd slide back a little bit.
And speaking of chaos, number 13, Amaya Snyder, unlucky for him for jumping the restart. That would be a 1-lap penalty. That would pretty much be the last we would hear from him for the rest of the night.
And somehow the number 98 truck of Grant Enfinger, he gets some damage, but they didn't really say how he got that.
Yeah.
I don't really mess his truck up.
Not really sure. The TV didn't really show us, or wasn't there physically to know these things, unfortunately. But somehow, some way, he got that damage. Brett Moffitt would challenge John Hunter for the lead, but he just couldn't really get it. Couldn't really get a good run and get around him, but he was pretty much the faster car. But he would finally get around him on lap 88. Sauter would catch up to the leaders. Friesen closes in on Rhodes and Gregson, who were having a pretty intense battle.
Yep. And then it's about time for some pit strategy, and Matt Crafton, he short pits.
And short pitting, your worst enemy is a caution, and he got a caution. That would be the number 3 Jordan Anderson, the little truck that could, colliding with Stuart Friesen, the man with the worst luck in the garage at this point in the season. Past 3 races, he's been getting in these weird incidents. You could say it's just unlucky for him, wrong place, wrong time, all the time for Stuart Friesen.
Yeah, it was pretty good to see Jordan Anderson. He's up there in the top 15. I'm not sure what happened between him and Friesen. We just saw him spinning around. And put a lot of damage on the Stuart Friesen's truck, and they had to come in and fix some of the damage. But Jordan Anderson didn't have much, and he continued on.
And because of that, Matt Crafton would get caught 2 laps down. Like I said before, worst enemy for a caution.
And while under that caution, Johnny Sauter, he comes in 3rd and has some bad luck on pit road again. They said the jack broke. I guess it let him down. He would come out ninth. I think there was 9 trucks or like 11 trucks on the lead lap then, but the ones behind him had to come back in for fixture.
Had some major damage on those cars. It would see Todd Gilliland battling it out with Brett Moffitt, but Brett Moffitt would prevail. He sets his targets on John Hunter. John Hunter takes the lead, and Brett Moffitt chases him down. Can't get around him, though. Trying everything he can, trying to change lanes. Nothing's really working. Then we'd see Todd Gilliland have a flat tire. Would there be a caution? No, there wouldn't be. But what happened to John Hunter on the final lap?
Well, he said it's blowing up, but I believe they said that something in the fueling is out of gas or something. Man, it's bad luck for him, but it was good luck for Brett Moffitt to see him win. I mean, he was right there chasing John Hunter down, and he had a good truck that night.
Yeah, and that would be the race at Chicagoland. One of the best of the year so far. Not comparable to Iowa, but still the best 1.5 miles, I think, that we've had this year.
Yeah, it's a good showing for Brett Moffitt. I like to see him. He's always giving 110% out there, and you can't ever count him out. So it's good to see him get some sponsorship, and I hope to see him get some more sponsor for the next race.
Yeah, it's crazy because he says he doesn't know if he'll be able to get to Eldora because of sponsorship. So again, we're here saying, please sponsor this man. He deserves a playoff spot, and if he misses one, he's not in the playoffs anymore. I mean, he got 3 wins.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame if you're not in the playoffs. But some notables of this race, the number 88 of Matt Crafton, we saw him have those terrible luck there. Ends up P11, not good, not bad though, so pretty okay for Crafton.
Yeah, and last week, you was asking about the Thor Sports, if they would make a comeback. And Ben Rose would lead the charge for that team, and he would finish second.
And the top 5 would be, of course, Brett Moffitt, Ben Rhodes, Johnny Sauter, as we talked about before. He would come from 9th to 3rd.
That's good.
And number 18, Noah Gregson. And the number 51, Brandon Jones. Where was he the entire race?
I don't know. He just crept on up there. He just stayed in it, and he got a good top 5 out of that team.
So before we talk about the next race, not the next week, Kentucky, we were going to run down the playoff points, playoff standings as it is now, because there's 5 races until the fabled playoffs. We would have Johnny Sauter. He's sitting pretty good, 4 wins, 22 playoff points, far ahead of Brett Moffitt. Playoff point wise, Brett Moffitt has 3 wins, but only 16 playoff points. Noah Gregson, he would only have 1 win with 11 playoff points. Justin Haley, with that win at Gateway, would grant him 5 playoff points. No stage wins. Grant Enfinger, no wins so far, 57 points above the cutoff. Right now he's sitting pretty okay, unless he has some terrible luck, with 2 stage wins. Stuart Friesen, it's odd that he doesn't have a win yet, but he doesn't. 55 above the cutoff with 3 stage wins.
And then in 7th place is Matt Crafton. He ain't got no wins yet. He's still trying this year. He's about 45 points above the cutoff line, and with all his bad luck this year, he don't have any playoff points as of yet. And in 8th place is Ben Rhodes. He hadn't won yet. He's 29 points above the cutoff. He's right there. He's just got to keep digging just to stay above that line, and he would have 2 playoff points.
Yeah, and Myatt Snyder, he's under the cutoff right now. No wins, no playoff points. He is 29 back. We have Cody Coughlin, 47 back. Dalton Sargent, 63 back. Austin Hill, 79 back. I think the maximum points you can get from a race is like around 60. So people like Grant Enfinger, he's sitting pretty okay. As long as he just hits his marks, doesn't have like 3 terrible races, he should be fine. But someone like Ben Rhodes, 1 bad race, it's all over. Really, we could see something change here. Is anyone under the cutoff that you think can win Kentucky?
Well, Cody Coughlin, he's been running good. I wouldn't count him out, and Dalton Sargent, he had a few mistakes. It's really hard to tell with any of them right there. Really, they're real close every week.
Yes, so moving on to Kentucky, I believe it's considered a 1.5 miles. It's more like a short track in a way that's configured. It's going to be a great race, I think. But who do you think will actually take home the checkered, either add in 5 more playoff points or get their first win of the season?
Well, you got to go with the top one there with Johnny Sauter. He's fast every week, so I ain't going to count him out. So I'll probably go to Johnny Sauter.
Wow. And I'm going to go with the number 18, Noah Gregson. He's been on knocking on the door. He's not knocking the door, but
hello.
He said that he was going to kick some butt next week or the next race he's going to go at, and I think that's what he's going to do. Noah Gregson is going to go out there and kick some butt and win another race.
Yep, can't go wrong with Noah.
So 5 more races till the playoffs. We'll see you in Kentucky. Stay tuned for our Xfinity Series video tomorrow, and have a good week, everyone.